Here from Aim High Family Firearms Center, and today, like I promised, I'm back with a little episode about silencers. So silencers are probably one of the best kept secrets of the gun world, and I get a lot of questions about whether or not they're legal and whether or not you can purchase or own one and what the laws are around it. So let me start off first with a little bit about how a silencer can help you and how they actually work, so we can get a little bit of an idea of what we're looking at here. So silencers, or suppressors, they're referred to as a silencer by the government. Most people in the firearms industry will call them suppressors. And the reason being, they don't actually silence the firearm. You can more think of them as a fancy muffler that is made of some more exotic materials to handle the heat that's generated by firing this gun here. So one of their best uses is as a training aid. While you're out on the range, you're shooting, this will help to eliminate the need for hearing protection in an outdoor scenario. So if you're not in our range, if you're out on an outdoor range, say maybe you have enough space in your backyard to safely shoot, this is going to make your gun incredibly quiet to a point where you don't need hearing protection. Now, is it going to make it silent? Not in any way. Most guns, even if you use the subsonic ammunition, you can still hear them. But another benefit is they're now legal for hunting here in Ohio. So if you wanted to take this 22 can and you wanted to put it on a rifle, say, instead of this pistol, and you wanted to go out and go squirrel hunting, it makes it to where you're not going to damage your hearing when you shoot that gun, because it's going to bring the decibel rating of that shot being fired down to a reasonable tolerance. So with that being said, the way that silencers are designed to work is basically that there's three different noises that a gun can make. So there's mechanical noise, and that's the hammer being fired. That's the slide moving back and forth. Any of those mechanical noises, so metal on metal or any movement type noise that you're going to get from this gun firing, you can't really silence it. So with that being said, semi-autos are obviously going to be a little bit louder with a silencer on them. The next sound is what we call the Magnus moment. That's when the hot gases that are released when that bullet's fired, the exact second that they meet the atmosphere, they're expanding at such a rate that they make that initial crack of this gun being fired, or what we traditionally hear as a gunshot. And then there's a third sound, which is actually as the bullet travels down range, if it is supersonic, so if it's faster than the speed of sound, the pressure that's quite a bit lower behind the bullet actually allows the higher pressure that's being pushed away from the bullet to collapse behind it. And that air actually, or that pressure, actually slaps against itself, creating a sonic crack as the bullet travels down range. So realistically, we can only work on one of those sounds. So what we focus on is the Magnus moment, which is what the silencer does. So all it is a series of baffles inside of a case of some sort of material that is designed to let those gases expand at a much slower rate as they go towards the end of the silencer and then expel through the end after the bullet's left. So effectively, all it is an expansion chamber that makes it so that reaction is slower, thus making the sound a lot less. So in reality, they're just a fancy muffler. And they come in all different shapes and sizes. Like I said, this one's for a 22. You can put it on a rifle or a pistol, doesn't matter. It'll handle a few other calibers as well. Usually anything that is similar or less pressure, these silencers are designed to handle. Some of them are designed to handle things like 17, 22 Magnum, and some of those smaller rounds. And you can get all the way up to, say, a shotgun silencer. Silencer Co. came out with this, and is the first of its kind, designed with a rail system inside of here to keep the wad closed. The issue was that the wad would open up as the gun was fired, and it would get trapped inside the silencer. Well, they've eliminated that issue by putting rails front to back to keep that wad closed around the shot as it leaves. So the Salvo 12 is available. It's the largest bore can that we have, and they're made for everything in between. You can get a 223, a 308. You can get lots of different calibers. Pistol calibers, you can get 9, 40, 45. You can get them to where they're able to handle many different calibers. The Silencer Co. Hybrid, designed to handle just about any pistol caliber that you have, all the way up to 45-70. So basically anything that has less pressure than a 45-70, you can screw it onto and use it efficiently. So great options for the shooter, the hunter, the outdoor enthusiast that just wants a quieter experience all around. These will also, another thing I forgot to mention, help you if you're training your kids how to shoot. So one of the worst things to have happen is you're out on the range and your kid's shooting and they want to take off their hearing protection all the time to say what and want to talk to you back and forth. This is going to make the shooting experience much more comfortable to a point where they wouldn't have to wear hearing protection, so they can be safer out on the range. They can hear what you're saying, you can give commands without having to scream because they have hearing protection on. So a great option if you've got little kids that you're trying to train to get them into a safer environment. Now, while they're fun, most people would think that they're impossible to get or that something that you can't really obtain easily. Realistically, the process is pretty simple. You walk into a store that sells them, like our store here, and you determine which one you want to buy. You pay your money for it, and technically at that point you own it. You're just not allowed to take it with you. So what happens is we're going to give you a couple pieces of paper, and they're called a Form 4. That form is an ATF form that has to be sent in to the ATF with a check or money order for $200, which is what the ATF takes as a fee for a literal stamp. It looks like a postage stamp that says that you paid $200, and they perform a background check. So we give you that piece of paper, and if you're an individual doing this, now there's other options, other ways. We'll post a link below that gives you some more information on those other ways, but this is for individuals who'd like to purchase a silencer. You get that Form 4. You're going to fill out the top portion with all the information that you have. It should already come with the information we've put on it as far as the make, model, serial number of the can that you're purchasing. You're going to get 2 passport-sized photos. Those will get mailed in with your form, and those are for identification purposes. And then you're going to have your chief law enforcement officer for your area sign off on that. So whether that's the chief of police or a government official, a judge or a mayor, can also sign off on it. Now, once you've completed that, you're going to mail in your form. And then comes the least fun part of purchasing a silencer. And that's the fact that the ATF takes quite a while to process the form, and they're sitting anywhere from 6 to 8 months on those forms, sometimes a little bit longer, but it's a pretty simple process. You just have to be willing to wait. Once you get it, you'll have your Form 4. It has to go with you as you're transporting your firearm or your can with you out to the range, and then you're able to shoot and have fun with it. Other options, like I said, will be posted below as far as how you can obtain an LLC or a trust to be able to purchase them. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop into the range. You can talk to myself or anybody else in the range. We'd be more than happy to explain the process to you and help you find the can that will work best for what you need to do. So thank you for joining me for this segment on silencers, and hopefully you guys learned a little bit about how to purchase them and how they work. And if you have any suggestions for any future videos, just let us know, and we'd be more than happy to entertain those ideas. Thanks, and have a good day.